welcome to the Vanguard Athletics Podcast Network. My name is Matossian. I'm here with our head golf coach, Jeff Anderson, for another edition of Coach's Corner. We're just going to go ahead and jump right in.
Cool.
So go ahead and tell me what started with your interest in golf. What was your biggest influence getting to the sport? Because I feel like that's not a sport that you can just easily pick up and just jump right into.
Man, that's a good question. I grew up playing baseball and soccer. That's all I knew growing up. And the honest story of how I picked up golf was I had a huge crush on a girl that lived down the street from me. And her boyfriend at that time was a golfer, and he invited me to play. My dad had an old set of clubs in the garage, and I was like, absolutely, I'm going to play with this guy. And that's really how I, got the game. That's how I got into the sport. I was pretty athletic growing up. It just kind of came somewhat natural for me, and that's where we're at now. So
how easy does a baseball swing translate over to a golf swing? Because I feel like there's nothing in the world like a golf swing.
Yeah, there's some similarities. It's also a lot of muscle memory. Hand-eye coordination. It was just kind of it just came pretty natural, just because I'm doing kind of the same movement, all the way to the front side type of thing. But I worked hard, but it wasn't like I was uncomfortable in the beginning swinging a golf club. So
got it. So sounds like your biggest influence was the girl you had a crush on getting into the sport. So when did you start to take things more seriously and really say, I'm going to dive into this?
Yeah, probably the summer of my junior year of high school. I played a lot of golf that summer. Started playing some local junior stuff, and I excelled. It was weird. It was just one of those things where it didn't come, like I said, it didn't come easily, but it was something that I was doing well at. And then I had a little bit of incentive just because I knew someone that was coming to the school playing, and I knew that the golf team was struggling at my high school, and they were looking for players. And I was able to still do, it was funny because I did run track in high school as well, so I was able to do track and golf at the same time. So that was a really big deciding factor of, kind of playing golf in high school and stuff.
So what happened to soccer and baseball?
I just kind of was burnt out. I did it ever since the age of 5, all the way until I was 16, so 11 years. Again, I grew up in a pretty athletic family. I had 3 brothers. My mom and dad had us constantly doing stuff. I love those sports. I excelled at those sports as well. Nothing to a national level, but I definitely excelled in a sense of, in a local area. But golf just, you have no one to blame but yourself. It's a very, it's a humbling sport, and it's really big on integrity. And that's something that means a lot to me. So, and to this day, I'm still learning. Being in the game this long, I'm still learning. So. Yeah.
So would you say you kind of lean more towards the individual sports with cross-country in there as well with the mix with golf?
Yeah, I'm very team-oriented. Obviously, being a coach, I always looked up to all my coaches growing up, whether it was my dad or just whoever our coach was. They all had an impact in me growing up. I guess the individual, for me personally, was just more of a challenge. Just because I was challenging myself,
right?
And I couldn't, blame it on somebody else, and I put all the blame on me, which is good because it helps you grow and builds character, and obviously it's got me, to play other sports and coaching and all that kind of stuff. So
was your dad your coach while you were playing baseball, soccer growing up, or?
My dad only coached me once in soccer, never in baseball.
All right.
My baseball memories are a lot more fonder than the soccer memories, just because I felt like I achieved more in baseball than I did soccer. But I remember riding my bike to the Little League field and having the chili billy after a game, but that's some of my best friends I met through sports growing up. So yeah.
Coach Anderson attended Western High School in Anaheim, where you played golf and ran cross-country all 4 years. And then you go to Fullerton College, where you also played golf and cross-country. So what was the draw to get into cross-country? What kind of kicked that off?
Kind of what I alluded to earlier. Just, being in an active family, I had a lot of energy growing up. And I just, again, I was a good distance runner growing up, and I know that I said I played a lot of golf and soccer growing up, and I did, but I also did run cross country, like you said, 4 years in high school, and my first year at Fulton College, but I don't know, I just excelled at it. I mean, I don't look like I do now, but it was a lot of fun. I really did enjoy. It was kind of my alone time too, just kind of that own personal time. You know, there's times where people would say they hear me humming when I was running. It was the truth, and I did pretty well at it. I was, I won league 3 years in a row, and thought this might be the path God had for me. But golf was still my passion at that time. So
give me your favorite memory, either at Western or Fullerton, on the greens or on the track.
I would say my favorite memory I'll go running first. Cross country was. We had a meet. That's what you call them back then, and the meet the trail happened to go right by my house, and I had such a big enough lead I had to go to the restroom, and I stopped at my house, went to the restroom, came back, and I still was way ahead of the pack, and ended up winning. That was kind of a fun story. Hopefully, it's not too much information, but that's the truth. And then golf, I would say, the team that I had my senior year was very special. Obviously being a teammate of Tiger Woods, that helped out a lot. We had a great group of guys. I remember we lost league by 2 putts. Tiger 3-putted the last hole, and we lost by 1. But just a great group of guys. We got to travel up to Carmel and play in tournaments, and just the team camaraderie was a lot of fun. So
perfect. So then in 2001, you became a PGA apprentice professional, so you compete on the Golden State and Pepsi Mini Tours. So what was that experience like? I feel like that's kind
very
of
humbling. Very humbling. A lot of good golfers. During that time in my life, I was young enough to I was still living at home, and I was working, and again, golf was one of those sports where I felt like I was getting better and better year by year, and still working hard, still doing all that. But I did a little bit of that. I wasn't too successful at it just because I was working too, so that took a lot of my time. Nowadays these guys that are excelling on these mini tours, that's all they're doing. Right. That's all they're doing. They're practicing. They're playing. But a lot of fun. I learned a lot about myself during those times. Again, learning more about myself and the relationships I made with people in that time are still some of my best friends now. So
what was your favorite memory during that period of time? Do you have one?
Oh gosh, I don't. I guess my favorite memory is just being able to compete. Okay. I don't have one specific memory that stands out, but just competing, playing a sport that I loved. Like I said, never won any tournaments. But I was close. It was just more of me putting myself against the best players at that time.
Awesome.
To see where my game stood.
Do you have a favorite course that you've ever played? Let's go there. Ever played or played on the tours as well?
Tough question. I think my favorite course that I played in the area is probably Hacienda Golf Club. It's in, I think, La Habra. A lot of good golf courses. I've been blessed to play some really good ones. Golf course I played in Georgia called Hawks Ridge, really nice. I've played Pebble, I've played Spyglass. I've been blessed. There's a lot of good ones, so I'm hoping to play more down the road. So
awesome. So then you served as a golf professional at 6 of the top public and private clubs around. Then you spend 3 years as a head boys golf coach at Orange Lutheran. You 2 years at Valley Christian High School and 1 year at Biola.
Yes.
So where does the desire come from, competing professionally to jump into coaching? How does that shift or come about?
That's a really good question. So I was working at a private club at the time, and I've always been involved with juniors. I love interacting with junior golfers, whether it was golf or whatever sport they were in. And I just got approached to see if I'd be interested in coaching one of the boys that I kind of knew from the club in high school. And I was like, well, sure. It's if that's the door God's opening for me, then that's what I'm going to do. And I did it. It was a lot of fun. Again, everything that I've done from playing to coaching, I've learned so much about myself. And I would never tell myself I'm the perfect coach, because I think we learn more and more every year that we coach and we're around kids. I was blessed with that opportunity. and it's funny, I keep bringing this up, but every time I go somewhere or do something, I make really good relationships. And that's in a place at Orange Lutheran. I made some good contact with people, and I was involved with the school from missions to things, because for me, I just don't want to be a coach. I want to be involved.
Right.
I want to be involved with the school that I'm working at. And again, just learning more and more each year that I'm coaching, and obviously brought me to Vanguard. And I'm still learning. So
yeah.
But it's a lot of fun, a lot of work, but I really do enjoy it, and I'm just excited to kind of see where this road takes me. So
is there any challenges coming from competing professionally to coaching high school kids? Is there kind of a barrier, I was doing this way better than you?
Yeah, well, not really a barrier, just more of I need to be patient.
Okay.
Because me as a coach, I care so much about my players that I want them to excel and achieve what they're trying to achieve.
Right.
And when I see them and they're so close, I just want to jump in their body and do it for them. But again, it's more of, God's blessed me with patience, because I'm not, if you ask my wife, I'm not the most patient person. But when it comes to coaching and with golf, it's something I'm very passionate about. I don't take it lightly. I'm so passionate about coaching, investing in the kids, and the transition from playing to coaching, I felt like was pretty smooth. So obviously they have different type of responsibilities, but I feel like I've done, I'll just say, okay job, and I'm doing better and better as time goes on. So
awesome. So kind of what drew your attention to Vanguard in the first place?
I knew of the school, and then again I was working at a club. I was coaching. Am I allowed to say Jeff Monsky's name, or should I just leave that out?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll just say someone approached me from. I'll just say I don't say.
I was approached.
Yeah, I was just approached by a gentleman. I coached his kids in high school. He just mentioned to me that Vanguard would be starting a golf program. At that time, I was not interested. I was just more of I was happy where I was. But it honestly was intriguing, because I had my experience at Biola for a short time. I loved that. And then came in from the interview with Jeff and Rhett and Kristen and Jeff Melton. And I can honestly tell you, I bombed that interview. I was sweating, my armpits. When I was in a suit, I'm oh my gosh, God! I did the best I could. Hopefully, they saw some side of my passion. But I'm blessed. I've been blessed ever since. This Vanguard's really special. The community here, everyone supports you. From the other coaches, from the staff. It's a blessing. I'm going on 3 years now, and every year it's been special. So
awesome. So you leave thinking you bombed, and then you get the call that you're the first head coach in the history of Vanguard. So what are the first thoughts that kind of come through your head right when that call comes through?
Jeff Nassell just called me and took me to lunch, and over at Firehouse Sub, he said, "You're our guy," and I was wow, this is great. Again, I'm blessed. It's a blessing to be here. That's kind of my first thought that came to mind, was what a blessing it is, because it was always a dream of mine to kind of coach at the collegiate level. I just really never vocalized it. I never really told anybody that. But God opens doors at times when you least expect them, and that's truly what happened. So
awesome. So you're named the head coach December 18, 2017. You get straight to work, and you signed as a stud of a class. You signed some very talented individuals in there. So what's kind of the pitch that comes from a first-year head coach? You're hey, we're building something here, but I got to pitch you something that's just kind of a dream, and it's out there right now. So what's the pitch there?
Kind of what you just said, just being part of something new, building that foundation, being the founding, women's golf program at Vanguard, and just expressing to them the community of the school and what it's all going to feel like while you're on campus. Why the main reason why I coached, why I'm coaching here, and why I chose to be here. Like you said, it was a blessing that first year. Being conference championships, and I was blessed with being coach of the year, going on the nationals. That was a huge learning experience for me, just from all types, all sides of coaching. But yeah, it was. I had no expectations for the first year, just more of fielding a team, having us compete, representing Vanguard in a positive way. And it's all about community. And I keep saying that. It's all about community for me, family, and representing Christ in the best way that we can. And again, winning championships, coaches of the years, those are just icing on the cake. That's not who I am as a coach. It's all about building strong character of men and women. So that's, yeah.
So the first time pen goes to paper and boom, you got your first person on there. What kind of the emotions as you get to the signing day pictures and stuff like that? You're like, wow, this is really happening.
Yeah. Exciting. Just a lot of hard work.
Oh yeah.
A lot of prayer. Because when I got hired, I hit the ground running. I was traveling to Northern California, all over, and there were times where I was like, wow, am I going to be able to get this team? And it just all kind of just started, coming in, and a lot of excitement, a lot of kind of anxiousness, but a lot of excitement for sure.
Awesome. So we're talking about that 2019 spring season. So the first contest you guys have is a first place finish for both men and women as individuals, a first place finish for the women as a team overall, and a second place finish for the men. So did you kind of know there was something special brewing after that event, or are you just like, ooh, we're just going to kind of see where this rides? That was pretty exciting.
I knew how good my players were just based on playing with them in the recruiting process. You always kind of have again, I have no expectations. I'm just like, get a team together, let's bond together. They surprised me. Again, golf is not an easy sport, and when you're put in a position to, coach comes, they recruit you, they give you a little bit of scholarship money. Those players might feel pressure, but they went out there and they played well. It's always nice to win. Again, it's nice to win, and we love that, but it's all about growing together and getting better and better each time. So.
Awesome. So we're going to fast forward to the GSAC Championship. So as a team, the women are in second place after the first 18 holes. They're 8 shots back from the lead.
Right. So
they go down 8 strokes, being up by 4 strokes on Championship Wednesday. So you're like, wow, we're kind of tasting this thing. So what's the Jeff Anderson special? What's the message during that final day before they head out there?
I told my players that morning at breakfast just to have fun, and everything else will take care of themselves. I did tell them that the pressure's on everybody else because they have to chase us. And whatever outcome comes, that's what the outcome God had planned for us. Ended up winning. We had 2 all GSAC players. I was coach of the year for the women. Again, those are nice. It all comes down to how well the team does for me. It's how well my players do reaching their goals. That was just not a weird week. It was just a week where I felt like my players had no pressure on them. They just went out and played golf and had fun. There was a lot of smiles on the golf course. There wasn't a lot of, golf, like I said, is a humbling sport. You can get down on yourself really quick. I just never saw that, and it was, again, it's a blessing. It's a good way to start a program, but I feel like there's more and better stuff to come. So it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, yeah, because whenever you said work, because wherever you guys go 8 strokes, you're 4 strokes up, you guys take it with a 25-stroke lead to take home the hardware. On the men's side, you guys start in 7th, and you guys finish 5 strokes at a second place, so just whatever that speech was at the end, just definitely worked for them. So as you mentioned, you're voted as GSAC Coach of the Year, so this is why we call this man Cody over here in the office. And you guys secure a trip to the National Championships in Oklahoma City. So what was it like getting there? You got to play, all of a sudden, boom, the best of the best are here at the NAIA Championships. What was that kind of experience like?
Very eye-opening. I think for my girls, it was, obviously they were blessed to be there. We had a lot of fun. But they were playing against, the best players and schools in the country. And I told them to take it all in. I told them straight up, the breakfast of our first round, I told them straight up, there's a reason why we're here. Do the best that you can, and the results are going to follow. And I don't care where we finish, take it all in. And you earned your right to be here, and just take it all in. Obviously we didn't play our best, but it was a really good experience for the girls that were there. For me personally, just to kind of interact with other coaches around. A lot of coaches a lot of national recognition, and it was kind of cool to say, hey, we're a first-year program, we won our conference title. So that's not a lot of people can say that, and that has nothing to do with me. So it's all my players. So and I wanted my players to understand that they accomplished something that not a lot of people could. But a great experience. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. So just kind of getting into the last stuff. Kind of what have you learned over your time as a coach? You start to gain, like when you said year 3, you're jumping into year 3 here. So what is kind of the things that you've been learning and evolving as a coach is when you kind of spend more time here?
That you don't get to sleep very much. No. Gosh, that's a good question. I'm still learning. I learned so much from each and every team that I have, from the other coaches here. You know, by no means am I the perfect coach or the best coach, but I really enjoy watching my players achieve their goals in play, and just to be a small part of what they're trying to do. And first and foremost, just building that relationship, the Christ-centered relationship with the kids, and just being around them. And again, I'm just learning every day. I'm still learning. I would love, when my time here comes to an end, that the legacy that I do leave, that I left a legacy of, man, that was a Christ-centered program. They had a strong, I don't know what I'm trying to say, a strong foundation of Christ-like followers that achieved their goals and did good for the world and did good for the school. So that's
awesome. Yeah. Well, it's been great talking with you. For those that are watching online, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you guys subscribe on the Apple Podcasts or SoundCloud, wherever you guys get your listening materials from. Once again, this has been Jeff Anderson.
Thanks,
it's been a pleasure being with you.
Absolutely, appreciate it.